4 games into the lacrosse season, Syracuse sits at 3-1. All 4 of those games played in the Carrier Dome. Now the Orange hits the road for the first time this season, taking on St. John's in New York City. Welcome to a web edition of Cuse Countdown, previewing the upcoming matchup with the Johnnies. I'm Drew Carter alongside Zach Lang and Adam Unger. Guys, before we get to the lacrosse, basketball now coming up on Selection Sunday. A lot of Syracuse fans biting their nails. Zach, you think they make the tournament?
You know what, Drew? I think they're going to make it. We saw last year a lot of nail biters. People didn't think they were going to make it, and they pulled out a Final Four run. I think they make it.
You know, Zach, I'm not so sure. You look at the big wins for Syracuse, and compared to last year's team, it blows them out of the water. But there are worse losses on this year's team's resume compared to last year. So I honestly think right now they're in, but it depends on what other teams do and how other conference tournaments pan out.
All right, well, hopefully you guys bring the same level of analysis for lacrosse, because that was pretty impressive for basketball. Let's take a look at the matchup between St. John's and Syracuse. The Johnnies just 1-4 on the season. Last year they went just 2-14, and this year their only win came against Siena just by 1 goal. That's a Siena team that Syracuse beat handily in the season opener. Taking a look at some stats for St. John's, just over 7 goals per game on the season. Good for 63rd in the nation out of 69 teams. That's not very nice, and a shot percentage of 23%. Also just 63rd in the country. So on paper, Syracuse looks destined to win this game pretty easily. But guys, St. John's is led by a pair of brothers who are just dominant. The Matson twins, they're small, but they're really good, right, Adam?
Absolutely. Joe and Mike were phenomenal in high school, and they continue to feed off of each other at the college level. Joe makes his living behind the net, feeding with a little more passes, and Mike is a big-time finisher on the wing, so Syracuse has to look out for them and play them tight on Saturday.
You know what? You're right, Adam. Joe, he's a solid 5'7", and he was just named the Big East Freshman of the Week, which is really impressive. And he had that game winner against Siena, which is also good. And what's funny about these guys, they have the same shot percentage, 31.2%, same number of shots on goal, same number of goals. Could they be any more twins?
And guys, seeing guys like that, 5'7", 5'8", play lacrosse and dominate kind of makes it feel like we could play college lacrosse. But we're not going to be playing in this game on Saturday, Syracuse and St. John's. Zach, what's your key to the game for an Orange victory?
My key to the game is they got to win ground balls. You know, we've seen it all year. Ben Williams has been out, but he's still been struggling in the ground ball game. Overall, they just need to get more ground balls. It's as simple as that, Adam.
I agree with you. Mine kind of builds on that, is to be physical. Physicality will help this team win the ground ball matchup. On top of that, it's going to help shut down such a small attack line that includes both the Madsen brothers, like we already talked about, along with Colin Duffy, who's also only 5'8", 5'9", 170 pounds. That sounds like a high school attack line to me. Tyson Bonberry, Marcus Cunningham should eat those guys up. If Syracuse is physical, they'll be just fine.
And Syracuse, pretty much everyone expects them to be just fine in this matchup against St. John's. Not a great Johnny's team. Adam, you think Syracuse comes out with a victory?
Oh, absolutely. 17-6 Syracuse. It's not even going to be close. This is going to be almost as bad as Siena because, like you said, these two teams are on about a level playing field. So I expect a lot from the Orange in this game. A big rebound game for the Orange coming out of so many close games. It's going to be nice to have another cupcake before they really get into the Johns Hopkins and the Dukes later on.
Yeah, you're right, Adam. We got some tough games coming up, but you know what, Orange fans, get ready for a blowout. I got Syracuse winning 19-5. Like, there's no reason why they should lose this game. Come on, guys. It's St. John's.
It would absolutely be a nice way to jumpstart that tougher slate. Syracuse taking on Johns Hopkins, as you mentioned, after St. John's. Maybe a trap game against the Johnnies, but both our analysts think that the Orange will pick up a solid victory in Queens. For Adam Unger and Zach Lang, I'm Drew Carter saying enjoy the game and have a great night.